Kalafalehatu, good evening and welcome to our BCN News Bulletin tonight. Leading our news tonight, 8 passengers, including 1 child, departed Niue at 9:30 a.m. yesterday morning on a repatriation chartered flight bound for Fiji. The passengers arrived safely midday local time in Nadi and are already in quarantine. Tuapa Airways from Samoa landed yesterday at Hannan International Airport at just after 8:30 a.m. on what is described by the government as a humanitarian repatriation flight to Fiji. The new government chartered an aircraft from Tuapa Airways, which operates Twin Commander 690B model and can seat up to 9 passengers. Emotional scenes at the airport when the Fijian community began singing the traditional Fijian farewell song Isale. The Fijian community in Niue has grown in recent years and is now one of the largest ethnic minority communities on the island, many of whom were at the airport to farewell their friends. Some of the passengers are contract workers for the government whose contract terms have ended, including employees from the Telecom Niue and BCN's former news presenter and reporter Sophia Koroitanoa. Also on the flight was consulting lecturer Dr. Sunia Vusikata, who's been stuck in Niue for the past 6 months because of COVID-19 travel restrictions. Ms. Koroitanoa told BCN News yesterday afternoon that the flight was smooth, arriving safely into Nadi at just after midday Fiji time, and they were all transported into quarantine. The Finance and Planning Agency of the government are conducting the midterm review of the new National Strategic Plan, which will culminate at a National Planning Summit to be held at the end of this month. In a statement to BCN News, Frank Sioniholo said that they are currently working closely with key stakeholders of each of the 7 key pillars of the plan. Frank Sioniholo says the main purpose of the midterm review is to determine the progress towards achieving the vision of a prosperous Niue or Niue ke Monuina, and asking questions such as, are we working on the right strategies to enable us to achieve that vision of a prosperous Niue? COVID-19 appears as a new requirement for the National Strategic Plan to address and will require a clearer roadmap addressing COVID-19 recovery and transformation strategies. Sioniholo said that they are also looking very closely at the strategic objectives and initiatives in each pillar to determine their performance and whether they are achieving their goals. The 7 pillars of the National Strategic Plan are finance and economic development, governance, infrastructure, social services, environment and climate change, Taonga Niue, and the 7th pillar, private sector. The consultations are in preparations for the National Planning Summit, which will be held at the end of this month. And concerns over unregulated property rentals on the island has come up again. Consulting lecturer Dr. Vusikata says that the government should look into establishing an institution mandated to regulate property rentals. BCN News understands that foreign workers and some locals have been concerned for some time over the very high costs of renting private houses. A visiting consulting lecturer who departed the island yesterday told BCN News that something needs to be done to control and manage the property rentals on the island. Dr. Vusikata said that he was at one stage paying $500 a week.
If the new government may ensure that the housing is made proper, sometimes the real estate, the rates are, I paid a house about $500 a week when I came, which I thought if there was a real estate institution or commission to mandate this, and secondly to attract more foreigners or visitors for that matter, you need to have excellent housing or accommodation facilities. You don't levy here the New Zealand rates. This is Niue. When we bring the New Zealand rates over here, it's actually not the market rate.
Dr. Vusikata compared the property rentals in Niue to that in the Cook Islands, where he said he had paid, while staying there, $250 per week, and this includes the whole package.
It is a good place the rock with good accommodation. See, I'm comparing this with Cook Island. Cook Island in Rarotonga, I stayed there. Oh, it's so good and it's so cheap. Over here, oh, a good unit in Cook Island with all the washing machine and everything there would be around, I think a week would be around $250. Yeah, $250. That means the whole package. You got a washing machine, you got everything.
BCN News understands that the government properties rental rates for a 3-bedroom fully furnished house is around $240 per week, compared to some of the private rental houses charging $400 to $500 per week. BCN News could not reach the government lawyers to find out more about the legal requirements for rental properties today. And a new position funded by New Zealand as part of Niue government's institutional strengthening and governance program will be based with the Niue Public Service Commission. Senior officials from the Public Service Commission confirmed to BCN News that this position is a new position specifically funded by New Zealand under the Institutional Strengthening and Governance program. The communications officer will report to the Secretary to Government, and according to the job description, associated reporting to the Public Service Commission, the Director of the Secretariat and the Director of Cabinet and Parliamentary Services. Some of the key purposes of this role is to provide high-quality media relations and communication support to the Premier, Cabinet and all government agencies for tactical activities. The communications officer is also required to participate in government client strategy development and problem-solving processes, amongst other tasks. The Public Service Commission is looking for someone with degree qualifications and at least 3 years' experience in the media, journalism or media consultancy area. And as expected, the Tuapa Village Show Day was very well attended last Saturday, with government and diplomatic dignitaries all in attendance. The chairperson of the Tuapa Village Council, Sione Tama, welcomed everyone, including the representatives of the governments of New Zealand and Australia, High Commissioners Helen Tana and Susan Allen.
Thank you today for welcome here. It's another lovely show day and another beautiful day in Niue and in Tuapa Village. And I wish you well for the day and for all of the activities ahead.
A testament to the people of Niue and to the village of Tuapa that you're able to bring together so many people showing their skills, their arts and crafts, their vegetables, the things that the people have done and come together with such joy and such family links. It's just remarkable to see. I very much hope to be here to see another and many more of these show days.
Honourable Minister Mona Ainu, who is also the Village Member of Parliament, thanked all who turned up to support the village, but especially the people of her village, Tuapa, for putting on a wonderful show day. The day was officially opened by the Minister for Social Services, Honourable Sauni Tongatule, who also asked the village and the landowners to allow the government to work with the village council to develop the historic first meeting place of the Niue kings of the past. Honourable Tongatule, in his speech, said that this is a significant part of Niue's history, and the government would like to develop and restore it to recognise that part of our national history. The day concluded with the performances from the children and the youth of the village. And before we leave you tonight, please check out the Alofi North Women's Craft Show tomorrow at 9 a.m. at their village hall. Join us again tomorrow for our Wangahau Niue Bulletin. Until then, good night.